Welcome to the Milk and Honey with Lemon podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, creator of the Holy Girl Habits, wife and mama, and certified life and leadership coach who turned away from corporate life to embrace kingdom leadership. This podcast is for Christian women feeling the weight of their divine callings, grappling with doubts of their leadership abilities, and searching tirelessly for biblically grounded guidance who want to step confidently into their roles as radiant kingdom leaders. Inside, we're going to traverse from those feelings of uncertainty and overwhelming searches, moving toward firm biblical leadership, empowering you to steward your gifts, and showing you that you indeed have what it takes. So, sister, grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's dive in together. Welcome back to the Milk and Honey podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, and I am very excited to be here because we've been talking for the last several weeks about authenticity and marketing. And so today I'm really excited because we're actually going to talk about how do you do it? How do we show up authentically in our marketing and our branding, right? We've spent the last several weeks talking about effective communication and empathy and relationship building and genuine connection. And we've talked about how do you have authenticity in relationship building? And so today I really want to dive into how do we have authenticity and genuine connection in our branding and our marketing, right? Because it's not just about selling a product or a service. It's about sharing your unique story, your God-given talents, and then stepping into what it is your divine purpose is. And so I'm excited to talk to you about what that sort of looks like today. And I have 7 tips for you to do that. So marketing in today's hyper commercial world can feel dissonant with our values as Christian women, right? We sometimes find ourselves questioning, and maybe you've done this, is how can I market my business without compromising my faith, right? Or maybe you've been told because you're a Christian, you actually shouldn't have a business. I've heard that. I've heard that I should not charge anybody a cent solely because I'm a Christian. And so it's a very fine line that we have to walk because we are ambassadors for Christ, but he also gave us a good purpose with talents and skills and gifts that are meant to be shared with others. The Bible says that we are not supposed to cultivate our talent for ourselves, but for the kingdom. And so the thing is that it is entirely possible to market with authenticity when you align your strategy with your spiritual purpose. And so I want to talk about heartfelt, authentic, genuine marketing. And here's some tips for you. Get out like a pen and paper if you've got them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with why, right? So this is purpose-driven messaging. So before any campaign is crafted, you have to understand and articulate your why. People do not buy what it is you do. I'm just going to take Girl Power Alliance, for example. There are a few hundred ambassadors, right? I know with Beachbody, I think the number last I checked was like 400,000 Beachbody coaches. There are a lot of people who do what I do. I could Google, I live in a small town, and there are easily 5 or 6 people who own marketing agencies in my town. So the thing is, people do not necessarily buy the service that you offer, but they buy why you do it. It's not about the profit, but it's about your purpose. Are you trying to bring quality products to those who don't need them? Perhaps you're aiming to offer a service that genuinely helps people. Root your marketing messages in this purpose. So this is different than like, I do this because I have 2 children and I want to support them. I have a husband who works a lot. He works super hard for this family, and I think he should be able to enjoy life and do the thing he wants to do. He wants to woodwork full time. He has contracts with local businesses and stuff, which is really cool, and he loves doing it, and it's a passion for him. And so I would love to make enough money personally to make sure that all of our bills are covered and that he can just woodwork and enjoy his life. But my why as to why I do the podcast, why I do Girl Power Alliance, why I do any of those things is because there is a need for female voices in the marketplace. There's a need for your voice, your skill set out in the world. And I have been to plenty of churches specifically. I remember one time I was at a church several years ago before I met my husband, and told me, Bishop told me I should not run my business because no good, faithful man wanted a woman who ran a business and was so independent. It's a real conversation I had to have almost 6 years ago. And so for me, my why is way deeper than, yes, I want to support my family and I want to pour into them and I want to see them realize their dreams and I want the quality time with them. But my why deep down is that I have had several conversations with several men in a leadership position in Christianity who told me I had no business doing what I do. There was not a need for my skill set. And so I think for me, that's what drives me, is if I can help just some women figure out and move forward with this idea that they have value to offer, then I've done my job. And I will probably never know the impact of that. I will probably never, unless somebody comes out and tells me that this podcast or the ministry that I do or any of those things are the reason that they found their purpose and felt confident stepping into their purpose, I will never know. I'm just trusting that God has got me reaching the right people, the people He has anointed and called me to serve, and that they're getting something out of what it is that I'm doing and they're finding their voice and their purpose. And I know that it is. I see it. People tag me on Instagram and tell me their testimonials and it's beautiful. And if I've done that for you, please review the podcast. It tells the Google machine to share it out to people. It tells the Apple machine to share it out. So if this has helped you in any way, please review it. It helps us reach more people, which is exciting. And so anyway, so your marketing messaging has to be rooted in what your big purpose is. So what is your big purpose? What is it besides monetary, besides maybe your family? What is it that you are called to do? Who are you called to serve and how are you called to serve them? Next, this is tip number 2, is transparent storytelling. So it's your journey as a woman in business. People connect with stories. And so share your personal journey of integrating your faith with your business. We went to Twisted Sugar here in Savannah a few weeks ago, and we were in the car together and she said, "Hey, I'm ready to merge my faith with my business." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, you do it so well that I want to do this. I want to start integrating my faith with my business. And I didn't think I just am sharing what Jesus is telling me to share. And so be transparent in your story because you have no idea how this will impact others and what a difference it will make for others. And so I would encourage you to share moments of prayerful decision-making and ethical dilemmas that you've maybe had to deal with and times where you felt God's guidance in your business operations. Share those things because people will love them. Next, ethical marketing practices. This is number 3. So no to manipulation, yes to inspiration. I do not want anybody to, and I tell this to my team all the time, I don't ever want you to be spammy. I don't believe in high pressured sales. I don't want you to play on people's insecurities or their fears. Instead, I want you to inspire people with hope and offer them solution-driven content and messages of empowerment. Right? Be transparent about your products and your services with no hidden clauses or exaggerated claims. Like, just be honest about what it is that you have going on and do it in a way that honors the Lord. Number 4 is value-driven content. So you're going to educate, enlighten, and elevate. So instead of constantly pushing for sales, provide value to your audience. Share a blog post or videos or podcasts that help them in their lives. Tie in biblical teachings and make them feel enriched for having engaged with your content. This is something I just changed the way I run my Facebook group, which if you're in need of one, it's just called Women of Purposeful Impact, Empowerment, and Biblical Growth. And so I just changed up the structure of this because I was posting every single day and I said, you know what, let's be more intentional and insightful. And so now it's really fun. Instead, what I do is on Tuesdays, I will post a topic. And then on Thursdays, I will go live to go deeper into that topic and just have real, genuine conversation. And so I'm excited about what that structure means for my community and how I can show up and support them. And so we are constantly trying to educate, enlighten, and elevate them, right? I want to educate them on a topic, right? Give them some information, enlighten them, have some key takeaways, and then elevate them to go and do the next best, right? What does their next best look like? Number 5, engage with empathy. So you're going to listen, respond, and connect. Engage with your audience, not as customers, but as part of a community, as part of your community. Take ownership of that community. Listen to their feedback, understand their needs, and then respond with empathy. Foster a community where people feel seen and they feel heard. Do people feel comfortable coming to you? If they don't, we got to fix it. If the company culture or the business culture makes people afraid to come to you, right? Then we've got to fix it. We've got to change something. And so listening, not to respond, but active listening. I'm a big believer of active listening. Will help people create a community, highlight some people into your community, let them come and share their stories. Like, these are all fantastic ways to really build up the community that you have. And number 6, partnership with purpose. So collaborate with people with integrity. So considering partnering with other businesses or organizations that align with your values. So for me, this means I support a local Christian crisis pregnancy center. I live in a college town, and naturally I am very pro-life in all capacities of that. And the center, what they do is they walk alongside women, not just when you're pregnant. We have had women come to us with a 10-year-old because they can't afford their light bill or they can't afford school clothes, right? These kids are growing and they can't swing those. They need a new job. They need help getting out of maybe a bad relationship, and they need new housing. We walk alongside them in every way, shape, and form. We have mentorship dinners. There's a mentorship program where women in the community are pouring into these women who need support. And so for me, when people work with me, A, it allows me to go and serve in that capacity. And B, it also means that I get to take what I make and pour it back into them, into these people who need it, into these women who are needing our support. And so for you, it can mean collaborating with other Christian entrepreneurs or supporting charitable projects or endorsing products that you found have an ethical foundation. So for me, right, that's Girl Power Alliance. I love that community. I love the way they support and pour into me, but also pour into the community. We do a give back day. We have a nonprofit where we are offering grants to people. There's a lot of things that we're doing. When we do our event in October, which I'm very excited about, I'm speaking at our event, and we are spending that morning before the event actually kicks off to go and pour back into the community of San Diego and pour into the homeless community of San Diego. And so for me, I have no qualms about talking about Girl Power Alliance because there are so many ethical reasons that I love Girl Power Alliance. And so I don't feel bad about sharing that. So what is that for you? And then finally, number 7, pray over your strategies. Put God at the center of them. So before implementing any marketing campaign, bring it to prayer. Seek guidance and ensure that your strategies resonate with your values. This not only gives clarity, but ensures your efforts are divinely guided. In true essence here, heartfelt marketing is about authenticity. It's about honoring God in every message you convey, in every product you promote, and in every connection that you make. When your marketing strategies are rooted in Christ's teachings, you not only reach your target audience effectively, but you can do so with a clear conscience and a fulfilled heart, which I think makes all of the difference, right? I think it makes all of the difference. And when we're in such a digital space right now, and we have the option to do digital evangelism, which is really cool. Could you imagine if the internet was around when Jesus was here, or when the apostles were here? I just cannot imagine the reach and the impact that would potentially have. And so I want to leave you with this, that I just want you to reflect on what it means to be a beacon of authenticity in the marketplace. What does it mean to be a woman after God's own heart in the marketplace? So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. As Christian women in business, our mission is to not just thrive in the marketplace, but to really serve as Christ ambassadors, blending that entrepreneurial spirit that you have with our deep-rooted faith. Remember, your brand is not your logo or your slogan. It is the love, authenticity, and divine purpose that you pour into every aspect of your business. So until next time, let's continue to mix faith with business and sweeten the world one authentic interaction at a time. Until next time, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the Milk and Honey with Lemon podcast. I am so grateful you were here. I hope this episode has helped you move from feelings of doubt and uncertainty towards stepping confidently into your God-given leadership role, fully equipped with biblical wisdom. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a second to rate and review. Each review helps us to reach and inspire more Christian women leaders just like you. Don't forget to share your takeaways, post it on Instagram, tag me anywhere you're on social media, and I'll see you next week.